have their attention. All right, good evening, everybody. It's my honor and privilege to have all of you here. And welcome to the Toastmasters. We're launching the club for young entrepreneurs, professional entrepreneurs. And this is the opportunity to develop our communication skills, especially for business. We are a business-oriented group of entrepreneurs. So without more ado, I would like to introduce Ray Perez, who is going to give us an opening. Thank you. Thank you, Andres. A quick round of applause for our president, Andres, everyone. So today, I'm really excited because we get to start off a little bit different than how we typically start meetings. We get to start off with a little entertainment. Does anybody like entertainment? Anybody like magic? Yes. All right, so we've been honored to be blessed by a magician, a friend of mine, and actually Sean's brother, Mark, and he's got some amazing magic to show us. So a big round of applause for Mark.
Hey, I'm Mark Rossbach. Tonight, we're going to do something never before attempted in the world of magic. Sir, pick a card. What's your name, sir? Derek. Everyone give Derek a round of applause. He joined me up. Derek, sign your name on that card right there. And it's okay if I see it. Don't worry too much. Let's see, who here knows how to use a stopwatch? Well, I'll teach you. We're going to need this in just a minute. When we start, you'll start with that button, and if you pause it with that button, you can always reset it with that one. When I say time, you'll stand up and shout time. Let's practice time. You didn't stand up. Okay, so we have your signed card here. I don't know if everyone got a chance to see it. Take a step back here just so everyone can see. Beautiful. It is a really good signature. Thank you for that compliment. It's a great signature. So here, take your card, take it from me, fold it up, and lock it into that box over there so that it will be safe and secure from any prying hands. You have that going? Close it up, lock that in there. There's one last thing I'd like to ask you to do for us today. Having trouble with the lock? Good enough? It's not Lockmasters, so. Great. The last thing I'd like to ask you, reach into there, pull that out, hold it up, and let everyone see it's just like the ones they had at home. Do you have any experience with straight jackets?
No.
I guess I'm more interested next to you. Here, let's hold this out for a second. Get a picture of me and you together. You can share that to Facebook later. We don't need any of those. Here, no, help me in this. It works just like a regular jacket, only backwards. So remember, the tighter you make this, the more everyone else is going to enjoy that. There we go. Start from the very top. The FDA regulates the sale of medical straitjackets to doctors, making it very difficult to acquire one. Fortunately, nobody told this to Amazon.com, which is where I managed to get the one we have today. But it's not the first one I ordered, because before I knew that, I got one from, well, let's call it a special interest store. You have no idea what it's like standing in the post office. I guess I need to be at Toastmasters. Post office with a return label to monkeydungeon.com. They love to hear that at kids' birthdays, by the way. How are we doing back there?
We go on the last one.
On the last one? All right, as you finish that up, I'm going to reach my arms back here. Put that belt through the grommet on that side, as tight as you can get this. Okay, there we go. We should probably give this trick a name, something simple. How about jack it off? Shit. Is this a family show? I'll stay away from those jokes. Oh wow, you made this tight. You don't like me, do you? There's one last part here. This is actually my favorite part. So I'll swing this forward.
All right.
You go ahead and reach under and grab that. Don't grab the wrong thing. There we go. Good choice.
Pull it up through there.
Pull it up just a little tighter. A little more. I'll swing this one back. Go ahead and reach under. Oh, all right, there you go. Oh, whoa, whoa.
Good.
Yeah, now pull it up and we'll get her clip. Don't look like he's sticking his tongue out. Got that?
And there we go.
You got it?
Good.
Oh yeah, okay.
You tight.
You got the key on you? Don't lose that. You can leave the box there, but the key, we'll meet in just a moment. So I give you, I'd shake your hand for all your help, but I'm a bit tied up at the moment. So hopefully everyone else will give you a round of applause. You go back to the My record time in the straight jacket is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So tonight I'm going to try and beat that record, get the key from you, get that box open, and get your card out in that time. If we succeed in that time, then I hope you guys cheer like you've never cheered before. Stopwatch ready? Yeah. When you start, we go. All right. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Let's give you a little music.
What's our time? 28 seconds? Excellent. What's our time? 54 seconds. What's our time? 1:15. 1:15. Oh wow, these are beachy. It's such a big help. Can you just scratch my nose for a second? Oh, no, hold on. I've got it.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. What's our time? 1:45. 1:45. Oh. All right, this might be a little quick for trying. You have the keys? Throw them up here. Nice. How's that time? 2 minutes? If we get to 2:20, give us a 10-second countdown, all right? Wow, that's better. Oh. What's our time? What is it?
20. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh.
No. Signed the card earlier. Derek, that's your card. Wow. Thank you. I'm Mark Rosbach. I'll give it back to Ray. That was pretty awesome. One big round of applause. One more time. That was fun. Who's going to perform next week? Anybody? All right, so thank you guys so much once again for coming. We wanted to start off with a little bit of laughter, a little bit of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
Thank you, Mark, for coming and performing for us. And I just want to welcome you. I know that Andres already did, but this is the Young Professional Entrepreneurs Toastmasters. And what that means is that we are a traditional Toastmasters international group with a focus on young professional business owners and entrepreneurs, or anyone who wants to become one. So a lot of our topics and a lot of our table topics and speeches that we work on have to do in the area of business. So there's really no environment that you can go and practice on your speech, on your spiel, on your pitch, or whatever it may be, or you have a big meeting you need to present to the boss where you can have constructive feedback. So really we decided to give that opportunity to all the business professionals here in South Florida, and that's why we created this group. So I'm going to turn it over to someone who's been helping us put together this group. We're actually just chartering. So I think we have 2 more events that we're going to be having, 2 more groups, which we're going to be being held, and then we'll be on our own, and we're going to be running these events with you guys as a group. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Andres back, and he's going to introduce. Okay, great.
So we officially started the meeting, the Toastmasters. I'm going to give an introduction to our speakers. Our special guest today is a global entrepreneur, an active business leader in the community, and a staunch advocate for food earning causes in support of job education and women. She is a distinguished Toastmasters, a designation achieved by less than 1% of Toastmasters worldwide for excellence in communication and leadership. Presenting the speech preparation workshop, please welcome to Sheen Francisco. Sheen.
I'm not a magician, but today, what I'd like to show you is how you can make your fear of public speaking disappear. Yes?
Yes.
Anybody interested?
Yes.
Where's my magician? Who was here earlier? Did you leave? Wow, I'm from Denver, he's gone. That was very good. How many of you are joining us for the very, very first time today? 1, 2, 3, 4, a couple of you, yes. What brought you to our meeting today?
We went to learn about the group, what you guys do. That's everything. We are not too familiar with the group. We want to learn how to do it.
Very cool. And how did you hear about this meeting today?
What about you on Eventbrite? I was searching about 2 hours ago.
Eventbrite. 2 hours ago and you're here?
Yeah,
Derek, this is awesome. Very cool. Who else is joining us for the first time?
I got it also from Eventbrite, but I got it like 8 days ago.
Already something's working with this little marketing piece, and we love it. And for those of you who are joining us for the second or third or fourth time, what keeps you coming back to Toastmasters? Why is that? Anybody?
The amazing relationships.
Relationships, very cool.
Yeah.
Yes?
For me, the most important is the opportunity to develop myself in something that I lack, which is the ability to speak properly in public and not being afraid.
I think you're doing just fine. Yes? She is. All right, today we are working on something very, very special. Most of the time, we pick up the phone, answer those phone calls, and we don't have time to think, yes? You don't know what the people on the other end of your line will ask you. When somebody meets you at a networking event, you don't know what they're going to say to you. Those are called extemporaneous speaking moments. And last week, or last meeting, 2 weeks prior, you heard from Toastmaster Michael Thorne some tips and tricks that you can utilize for those impromptu speaking moments. Well, now guess what? What happens when you actually have time to prepare? There is absolutely no excuse for failure. Wouldn't you agree? Yes? Because you've been pre-warned, you've been given an opportunity to prepare, and now you can showcase your best foot forward. I'm going to ask my partner in crime over here, Jane, please go ahead and hand out those lovely stapled sheets. As she's passing those things around, I'd like you to turn to your neighbor on the left or right, just pair up, introduce yourself, tell them your name, the name of your business, and tell them what inspires you. Go for it. Okay, switch. Make sure you switch. The other person All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's get back to center. Wow, you just made a new friend. Yes? What did you learn about your neighbor?
It's a real estate.
He's in real estate. What inspires him?
I want to learn more about speaking public and being more aggressive. I think so for the customer.
A little bit similar, like you, huh? Yes? What did you learn about your friend? His friend?
Yeah, he is on the army, he was on the army, so thank you again for your services. He is now modeling, and his biggest dream is to help people, to give them support.
Very cool. Anyone in here with past military service? We just have one? How about family members serving in the military? You, all right, very cool. Thank you. What did you learn from your partner in crime over there, or were you solo?
What I learned from my partner is an expert in marketing, and my friend here is actually a full-time magician.
Very cool. We saw him disappear earlier, but he is there for that. Thank you. That was a very short exercise to show you how powerful communication can be. How your message can actually inspire a spark in people because you may have shared interests, or maybe you connected with an experience that they had, or maybe you just learned to like this person because they're charming and enthusiastic and are full of fire. But whatever the case may be, communication is something that we cannot get away from, especially when you're working with human beings. Now, if you're locked up in front of a computer 24 hours a day and you don't see human beings, it's a completely different story. However, public speaking is something that can help us both professionally and personally. Would you agree? Yes? All right. So you've got this grand moment. You have the opportunity to present something. Maybe it's to a board of directors. Maybe it's to pitch your product or service to a new client. Or maybe it's to deepen a relationship with an existing client. Today, we'll talk about how things work in Toastmasters as far as speech preparation goes. We start with the basics. In your hot little hands, you'll see 4 sheets of paper. Don't worry, you don't need to read the whole thing. I see some of you go, wait, there's 4 pages, you gotta read all this. This is an example of the very first speech project. Every single Toastmaster around the world, in 135 countries, over 15,000 clubs, they go through this very same thing. The icebreaker is the first project in the competent communication manual. Let's look on the top left-hand corner. You should be looking at page 7. Do you see where it says executive summary, objectives, in the little blue shaded area? Y'all see that? Perfect. One of the very first things to do as a speaker is to find out what the project objectives are. Now wait a minute. Why would you need to do that? In your military world, if you were to accomplish some kind of goal, is it critical to have a plan?
Yes, always.
Would it kind of make sense to have a map, especially here in foreign territory?
Yes, you always have a map. And you don't talk
Yes.
You have technology, and sometimes technology doesn't work, so you have to go back to the paper and map.
And the good news is, right now, we're using paper versions of this, but pretty soon, most of our communication and leadership manuals will be available online. So this is your map in Toastmasters. When you start your journey in Toastmasters, you receive 2 specific manuals. Our education program has a communication track. This book, or this project, is in one of those books, and there is a leadership track. We'll talk about that at another time. The first thing a speaker does in Toastmasters is they take a look at the project objectives. What am I being asked to do in this particular project? Most Toastmasters projects are about 2 to 3 pages of reading, nothing anything too crazy. You could actually get it done during your lunch break if you're very busy at work, and you can spend 10 minutes just reviewing the project criteria. I'd like you to turn to the very, very back page. The very back page says evaluation body. This is what your speech evaluator is looking for when you deliver your projects in Toastmasters. Well, Tim, you know, I'm really busy. Sometimes I don't have time to prepare my speeches, and I'll do it maybe the morning of when I'm supposed to deliver that speech, and I'm just going to wing it because I'm really good at public speaking. Okay, you can try that, but chances are, without the preparation, you're not as powerful or impactful as you could possibly be. And I know that some of you have the gift of gab, and some of you just can razzle-dazzle and sell to a client with a blink of an eye. Just going, yeah, I can do that. You can charm your way through life in most instances, but I strongly recommend in Toastmasters you don't wing it. We have seasoned Toastmasters who will be your evaluators, who will be very honest about the things that they see you demonstrate well in your presentations and the very specific things that you can improve upon. Let's talk about a couple of things. In your past experience, have you ever been to a boardroom meeting, for example, that was supposed to be for an hour, and an hour and a half later you were still there, and maybe 2 hours later you were still there, and then before you know it, it's lunch and you haven't accomplished a thing? Who's been to one of those? Because I've been to plenty in my lifetime. And by the way, these people were getting paid tons of money in those high positions within the organization, some C-level executives, and you wonder how on earth they got there sometimes. Critical in communication is your message. At the end of this day, if you forget everything else I tell you, I want you to remember one thing. Gary's like, I'm writing this down. Don't worry, I have notes for you later. If you fail to plan, what happens? You plan to fail. Truly, that is true in our professional role. What happens if you're interviewing for promotion? If you go there not even knowing your company's core values? How's seconds now? Not too good, huh? Or what about when you're pitching to a client in a very competitive environment? Who in here does things like marketing, social media, that sort of thing, where there are plenty of you who offer those products and services, you're not the only one? The biggest difference, the ultimate difference, whether you can win the client over or not, is your delivery in your presentation. And most of the time, people take it for granted. We're going to have a presentation somewhere down the line called Death by PowerPoint. What happens when the thing dies and all your notes are back there? That's a whole other class. But back to speech preparation. Critical that when you are presenting in Toastmasters, you look at those specific projects. You will receive a book called the Competent Communication Manual, as I mentioned. There are 10 speech projects. Some of you may say, well, you know what, I'm really excited. I want to do one on visual aids, because I do this for a living and I can't pitch anything with a PowerPoint. Sounds good. I strongly recommend that you do it in sequence. Why? It's like building a house. Who's in real estate? A couple of you, yes. Do you go shop for the draperies before you build a foundation and find out how many windows you have in your house? Not a good idea. In Toastmasters, we ask that you be patient because most of you bring amazing skill sets to the table already. Some of you speak more than one language. Others have no fear of public speaking. They actually thrive in the limelight. Let's take Ray, for example. Ray loves it when he's in front of the camera. Now, he's a little strange because he's one of very few people who actually enjoy it, in a good way. Most of us will run away when all eyes are on us and we look like that proverbial goldfish in a bowl, right? We'd rather like duck, hide under a chair or something crazy like that. But every single one of us gets to put our best foot forward. Every opportunity in Toastmasters, I'm going to challenge you to remember to coach each other. When you get a chance to speak, stand up, stand tall. Well, why? We're seated, we're really comfy. There's a science behind it. If you're at this level And Andres is speaking with all of you. That's quite cool. His voice travels this way, right? Well, look at all the obstacles that the sound waves have to travel through. Now, stand up for a moment. As he's above all of you, his voice now projects in the entire room with minimal obstruction. Pretty easy, right? Thank you. He makes a good bet on it. All right. So that's number one. Make sure you stand up and let your voice be heard. I just noticed something, Jeannie. You and I are the only ones with XX chromosomes in here, but that's all right. We'll manage. Where are all the ladies today? You probably went shopping. Must be a sale at Macy's. Okay, we talked about project objectives. Now, in this segment, we're going to discuss for the icebreaker. This is the very first project. The objective of this project is very simple. It's to allow the audience to get to know you. We're not looking for techniques. We're not looking for tricks. We're not even really looking for any sort of structure in a formal sense of way. What we want to know is that by the time I'm done hearing your icebreaker, I get to know Derek a little bit better. And by the time I'm finished hearing Ray's icebreaker, I may be able to say, wow, I didn't realize we both like skiing. Make it up. Can't ski, by the way, I'll fall flat on my face and it would be very embarrassing. Or, here's another thing. You may find out that you share something with someone who seems so very different from you. Andres and I grew up in completely different parts of the world, but through his icebreaker, I may find that he likes classical music like I do. Isn't that good? Very easy. Are we clear on the objectives of the icebreaker?
Yes.
Let me ask you this then. In your icebreaker, who should you be talking about?
So,
Yes, thank you. You could talk about your family, certainly. You could talk about your best friend, because it's a little bit of an insight when it comes to who you are. But this is about you. Do we need notes when we talk about ourselves? Do you need notes to share a story about what happened when you were 4 years old and you fell off a tree that you were climbing in your grandmother's farm? Probably not. Do you need notes to tell the folks in the room how you spent your last summer vacation? No, this is your story. Now, if you were telling Janie's story, you may have to interview her and say, hey, Janie, you know what? Gotta sit down. Because you don't know the details. In the icebreaker, this is not about theatrics. This is just you getting comfortable in front of the audience. Topic selections. What are some things we can talk about in an icebreaker? I mentioned who, your family members, your friends, maybe a colleague at work who inspires you. But what else can you talk about? What are those defining moments in life that we all share regardless of where you come from in this world? What are those events? Tell me.
your marriages, your career
Yes,
choices.
you got married, there's a wedding,
Kids,
career transition, kids, what else, traveling? What else?
Graduations.
Holidays, would those be good? Do you have holiday stories about your family? Silly things, crazy things, sometimes funny things? Those are good to share. Now, every vacation in your family gives some type of lesson. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. There's always something to learn from. Even if it's just a crazy trip where everybody went to Europe and one person forgot their passport and they couldn't go on the trip. Even if it seems minute to you, the audience wants to know who you are. The more you humanize yourself in front of the audience, the more relatable you become. If you're looking for perfection in Toastmasters, I'm going to shatter that bubble right now and tell you perfection is not what you aim for in Toastmasters. You aim for optimum. Big difference. Optimum being your best foot forward, but knowing that sometimes not everything goes perfectly well. Jeannie, have we ever had 52 weeks of 100% perfect meetings in Toastmasters? I know the answer to this.
In another universe, possibly.
Yes, ideally, yes. And I share this with you because sometimes in our quest for success, we look at success as perfection. And in certain instances, yes, you want a perfect surgery. You don't want the doctor to accidentally slice an organ that wasn't supposed to be part of the surgery, right? However, in Toastmasters, this is an environment that's about learning and evolving. Perhaps you may not be so good today about opening remarks, but maybe if you work on that for the next 30 days, your next speech, you would have a powerful opening, you can captivate the audience. Or maybe you're not very organized. You know what to say, but then all these other things come in your head, and then before you know it, you say all the other things, but you forget the most important thing you were supposed to say. Does it happen to you? Yes, happened to me. Or what about this one? Maybe you got on a roll and you're pitching in front of the client and you're just really talking about your passion, your product, your service, and you don't know how to close. You've seen this, right? They present really well, they've got you, they forget to ask for the business. So that is translatable in the professional sector. When you close your speech in Toastmasters, you're going to be thinking about certain components, which we'll chat about in a little bit. So far, so good?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I see a couple writing notes, but don't worry, we have handouts. All right, let's talk about something else. The message. When you're done with your speech, every single time you speak in Toastmasters, it's not in your notes, this is a different set. I see some of you are like, hey, what page is she on? This is critical, and I learned this the hard way in Toastmasters. I was a very comfortable speaker in a boardroom setting, coming from the corporate world, and when I transitioned from that world of finance into the world of health and wellness as an entrepreneur, oh, did I get a reality check. I was so good at presenting facts and figures and bottom lining everything that I was so unprepared as an entrepreneur that I needed to speak differently. And my world of cash flow analysis didn't click in health and wellness, and what I needed to become was a storyteller, something I was so horrible at. I'm really perfectly comfortable with Excel spreadsheets. If you give them to me, I could uncomplicate them for you in record time. But I didn't know how to tell stories. And I was so concerned as a speaker of being so perfect with my message and my presentation that I spent all this time on my content. Yet my delivery was stinky, to say the least. People would like fall asleep on me, and they would start opening back then there were Blackberries and iPhones, not so long ago. In Toastmasters, I realized that at the end of each speech, I must, as a responsible speaker, be able to tell Andres and Derek and all of you in the room what my message is in one sentence. And I want you to keep that in mind. When crafting a speech, summarize your main message in one sentence. If it's more than that, for a 5 to 7 minute average speech in Toastmasters, guess what? Each extra message is a whole other speech. And I know it sounds complicated. You're like, well, wait a minute. When I speak in front of clients or board of directors, I need 45 minutes. What do you mean 5 to 7? Remember what I said earlier? Back to basics. When you learn how to ride a bike, for those of you who know how to, did you immediately pull a Lance Armstrong and did you try and go, cycling 7 continents? Probably not, right? How many of you got on the bike, fell a few times? I have scratches to prove it, and scars to show that later. And then you kept trying and trying until 1 push of the pedal became 2, became 3, and before you know it, you took off. That's Toastmasters. Start from the basics and deliberately slow yourself down in the sense. Learn every project. Each particular project is designed to hone a specific skill. If a project is asking for you to work on vocal variety, you must deliver a project that shows high tones and low tones. Or maybe rapid speaking because you're trying to show excitement. You want the audience to lean in, drop your tone. Step back, because they want to lean in and listen to you. Little tricks that seem like, wait, that was so easy. I didn't need a college degree for that. But sometimes you forget, because they don't teach us that in college, do they? They teach us math and science, some PE, arts that's gone now, but they don't teach us how to communicate effectively. Right? Okay? True? Yes. I'm not making this up, really. And if you have children in the family, those of you who are blessed with children, Toastmasters is a powerful way for you to take what you learn in this room into, bless you, your personal life. How? Listening skills. You learn in Toastmasters that even though you're not the person who is the speaker, but someone is giving an evaluation in the room, even though you were not that speaker, you may learn something from the evaluator, saying, hey, here are things you can work on next time. Have a stronger opening. Create a more exciting title. Have a better introduction. Did you notice that Andres got up and gave an introduction? Yes? That is one of the ways, as a speaker, you can prep your audience and set the stage. And maybe, just maybe, I could attempt to be half as good as a magician and help you make your fears of public speaking disappear. Okay, messaging, very consistent. Next piece, let's talk about the anatomy of a formal speech. In Toastmasters, we work on things called triads, because the human mind generally remembers a sequence of three. Three things. If you do 5, 10, 20, it's a little bit much for the mind to remember, but if you say, hey, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, as easy as A, B, C. Look at that, you didn't even look at my notes and you know it. All right, what am I talking about? The anatomy of table topics looks this way, or rather, speech preparation workshop. Your first component is your opening. In an average Toastmaster speech, 5 to 7 minutes, or for your very first project called the Icebreaker, it's 4 to 6, they give you a little bit of an allowance. Your opening should not be more than 30 seconds. If it's longer than that, guess what? You've got 2 messages in your speech, that's the second speech you're creating. What do you do in your opening? What are things to grab the audience? Because they're thinking about their grocery list, their car that needs to get washed, and maybe their pet that needs to go to the vet. Humor, make them laugh. Now, not everybody's funny, so you don't have to be funny, but what else can you do at the very, very beginning of the speech?
That's their interest.
How?
Asking a question.
Ask a question. Very, very good. Hang on to that box. I'm going to come back to you towards the end. What else? Who's got a favorite quote in here? Anybody? Gary, shout out.
My favorite quote is, your energy introduces you before you even speak.
Ooh, very nice. Hey, I think this is a good one for your icebreaker, by the way. Start
I have
thinking.
more, by the way.
Keep going.
50 of them.
Awesome. So that's a quote. Anyone who comes up here and opens with a fairly familiar quote would connect with the audience. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Who connects with that? Is that true for you? Got to start somewhere? Yes? It's a famous quote by Lao Tzu. And in this sense, if you open with a question, if you, hi, there's Willie, I was looking for you. How are you? Come and join us. You guys squeeze in and have Willie come in and help us. You know, if you'd like to come grab this seat because it's just my stuff. Perfect. Now we're one big happy family. All right. Another way to open is to cite a statistic that is so outstanding, people will just say, oh, I didn't know that. All right, we've got quite a few men in this room. How's this? One of the three of you may have cancer in your lifetime. But wait a minute, which one of the three of us? Just get them to start thinking. Fairly easy so far? We've got opening down. This sounds really easy, right? Yeah? Give it a jump to closing. Well, you're on a rant and you're on a roll. How on earth are you going to wrap up your speech? So if you asked a question in the beginning, what might be a good thing to do in the closing? Give them the answer. Yes. Okay, you're like, wow, Jim, so far you haven't said anything that I don't already know. Well, guess what? You already know most of the things I'm going to tell you tonight. The thing is, you knew it, but it was somewhere in your subconscious. These workshops are about taking things that are practical that you can apply right then and now. We're not going to give you airy things that you walk out of here feeling like a champion one day, and then you go out there and go, what did you say? I have no idea what you just said. I don't remember the thing. So we know what to do for openings. For closings, we said, answer the question. What else? Who are those people in sales? What do you do?
Call for action.
Call for action. At the end of the presentation, what can I do to harm your business? Of course, the person in front of you is going to tell you exactly what you need to do. There you go, within reason. Within reason. What else? What do you say at the ending? say, here's a really good reason why you need to do business with me. A, B, and C. Boom. How do we move forward from here? Don't be afraid to ask. Yes? Are you thinking, or did I just totally confuse you?
No, I'm just thinking.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure sometimes those looks are like, wait, I have no idea what you just said. So if for some reason my English is not working properly for today, raise your hand. It's my third language. Don't worry, I don't feel bad when somebody says, I don't know what you just said. It's okay. All right, so we've got the opening, we've got the closing. The closing is also about 30 seconds. Well, guess what? Now the body has to be juicy. This is the substance. This is the meat and potatoes of your presentation. If you have a 4 to 6 minute speech or a 5 to 7 minute speech, you have time to make 3 points in your body. Ideally, point number 1, 60 to 90 seconds. Point number 2, 60 to 90 seconds. Point number 3, you're seeing a pattern here. How long would that be? 60 to 90 seconds. You guys are so good. All right. Any questions so far? So far, so good? Yes? I haven't lost anybody off the train. All right. Very cool.
Yeah, one question.
Yes? For $5,000, Alex.
Okay.
Ask the question.
What techniques do you recommend using to transition from an amazing opening like humor, statistics, a question to transition into the body? Is it just, you just open the body, or is there a cool way to transition?
Transitions are something you learn in your advanced modules, but that's a good question. Here's a big recommendation that stuck with me from not 1, not 2, but 3 of my mentors in Toastmasters. Pretend like you're telling your friend a story. If you stand up here and you have your speaker hat on, your a la Tony Robbins, and you're the speaker, you disconnect from the audience. Make sure that when you're talking, you maintain your eye contact, you move and use your space, you change the way that you speak, fast or slow, high or low. As far as transitions go, you know those things in grammar school that we didn't like? This comes in handy. When we use any transition words like however, and also, all those things, but make it you. Don't try and sound like someone else. The power of a great speaker is owning their vulnerability, because that is where they find their true strength. When you go up here and you're you, that is what the audience thinks. We can chat about specific transitions later on.
Perfect.
If you're making 3 points, very easily you can say first, second, or third. Or you can just say 1, 2, and 3. And use the room to emphasize those points that we folks are following. Did you see when I said here's opening? You visualized that, right? We're starting here. And I said closing. You got that, right? We're on the other side. And then your body was like in the middle. So those are very, very basic things to use. All right, let's move on. We're making a good time. Jamie, did that catch that green card? Was that my green? Perfect. Promise that. The next segment that I'm going to talk to you about for speech preparation in Toastmasters is this. Your speech title. Your speech title does not have to be a dissertation or a novel. It does not need to be 2,500 words, or 25 words for that matter. It needs to be short and sweet and to the point. Your message is a gift to the audience. You are sharing a thought, an emotion, an idea, an experience. This little box that is your present needs a bow, and the bow on top is your title. If you have a compelling title, people are more prone to say, I want to listen in. What else does Ray have to say about that? Right? We can't do things that will make our audience fall asleep if you maybe say something along the lines of the longitudinal study of how light impacts people in the workplace. I mean, okay, great if you're a human behavioral major, but behavioral science major, but what is it going to do for Toastmasters? Keep your titles fun and exciting. Those of you who are gifted with marketing, this is where you let your creativity shine. Think of something sassy and has pop, and something that will gravitate the entire audience's attention towards you. The other thing is this. Remember the evaluation guide in the very back of the icebreaker that we talked about? Keep in mind as you're preparing the speech, that you're not only hitting each objective, but that you're putting yourself in the shoes of your speech evaluator. What is my evaluator looking for? Is the evaluator looking for structure? Do I have a clear opening, a substantial body, and a solid closing? So watch out for those because they're critical. Now, one more thing. The speech introduction is important. 2 to 3 sentences. It sets the stage for you to start delivering your presentation. It's not about you giving it all away in the beginning. So maybe we can talk about a trip that you took to Europe. And you don't need to say what country. You can just say this was the greatest adventure of your life because you learned X, Y, Z. And then you tell your story. Right? Easy? Okay. We are going to pass some handouts. We're not actually going to have enough time to finish this. Lily, may I ask you, since you're right there in the corner, if you could please hand these out to our friends in the room. While Lily's handing out these beautiful worksheets, this is the speech preparation template. If you follow through the things that we just discussed today, you can prepare a speech, I kid you not, in 15 minutes or less. This is your draft, your outline. And because it's your story, you don't need to write a full paragraph for each section. And I'll go through this with you very quickly. Perfect. And I'll wait until he's finished. Thank you. All right, for those of you who have it, we've pretty much gone over all the steps. Oh, I get sound effects too. All right, when you're preparing for your icebreaker, make your project objectives, list 3 possible topics that you may want to discuss about you. Let's say your hobbies, maybe an adventure you've had recently, maybe a special someone in your life that will work as well. Identify the purpose of your speech. There are many speech purposes, but in general, they fall under these categories. Are you informing someone? Are you trying to persuade someone? Are you trying to educate someone about something? Or you're inspiring someone to action? So be clear on what you're trying to do, because if you're not clear on your message and you're not clear on your purpose, guess what happens to the recipient? They get very, very confused with you. We talked about the message, 1 sentence, straight and to the point. And then in page 2, you'll see the breakdown of how you can write out your opening and your closing. In between, you have 3 talking points. So let's give this as an example, and it doesn't need to be this simple. Let's say I want to talk about my academic adventures in life. I can talk about where I went to school for my lower or elementary years. I can talk about high school or upper school, and I can talk about college. And oversimplifying, you can certainly create your own more adventurous version. You could talk about maybe the 3 places that you've lived in, the 3 kinds of sports that you play, etc. But keep it simple. For the icebreaker, it's all about you. Lastly, on page 3, remember a speech title, short, sweet, and to the point. It's the little bow on the gift that is your speech. Write a 2 to 3 sentence introduction, and remember your evaluation guide. You get to take this home, and when we come back for our next meeting, I'd like you to have your draft ready. It's not going to be perfect. It's okay. We're going for optimum. But bring these back, and we'll tackle these for the next meeting. Let me wrap up with a couple of thoughts. Here's the secret sauce. Where's Ray? It's going to miss the secret sauce. Every single one of us has a USB. What is that? A unique speaker proposition. It's a unique selling proposition in sales. And this is about you letting your passion come through. You sharing your own unique perspective and letting your personality shine. You are not going to sound like him when you deliver a speech. And you are certainly not going to have the same story as him, right? And even if you were twins, you would have very different perspectives. Create a sensory experience. What is that? What are our 5 senses? Shout them out.
Touch, taste,
Touch, taste, what, sight, what else? Hear and smell. Okay, very good. Your goal as a speaker is to learn how to paint beautiful pictures with your words. If you can create a speech that makes people see visually what you feel, and if you can make people experience the joy and sadness and everything that you went through for that particular experience, if you can make people hear the thunderous roar of a lion when you went to Africa, you got it. Here's very, very important, we all know this. We talked about riding the bike, right? How many times must you get up on that bike before you get it? I don't know, 2, 3, multiple times? How about in speaking? Practice, practice, practice makes perfect. If you deliver your speech only for the very first time in front of your new client, and you've never practiced and you've never prepped, I hope to God that you have your angels with you and that you're as awesome as you think you are. But most of the time, if you come unprepared, you know the results. In Toastmasters, there are easy ways to practice. We've got those wonderful friends of ours with iPhones. Have them tape you, or if you're camera shy, do a self-recording, put up a tripod, watch yourself practicing. And on those long drives in I-95, audio record yourself. When you play it back, you are going to be your own worst critic. You're going to hear things that people even didn't realize, and we tend to be our worst critics. Agreed? Well, you look at a picture, and it's a group picture, and whose photo do you see first? Yours. And then you see things that nobody else sees. Your hair, your tie, your shoes. Nobody even noticed. But when you're willing to critique yourself, that's the power in public speaking. You get to refine the skills and sharpen the saw. And it's not about you going for perfection. It's putting your best foot forward. That's the essence of public speaking. All right, please go questions. That means I have 200 seconds to answer your questions. Questions?
How are you doing this one?
I did the Toastmasters since 2011. Yes. And confession, when I came to the US, my English was so bad that people used to say, huh? Can you say that again, huh? It took me 1 whole year being in this country before I understood American idioms. I would sit there, and I'd be the girl who 5 minutes later started laughing because I finally got the joke. That was me. I shared it with you, not to impress you, but to impress upon you that if you're willing to work on yourself, you can master this English language. Other questions?
No, I have a question.
Oh, I'll say that back.
Now, for example, when you have a company that you do many things at the same time, that how you deliver the speech in so short time that you want to get everything out, but there's still many things that you can't confuse the people. Or not really.
That's a very good point. You find, especially in your business, you're an expert, right, in what you do. So what we tend to do is we want to throw it all out in front of our prospect or client, and then they're like in overwhelm mode. Discipline yourself to focus on 3 talking points. Give them enough to want you back and say, let's schedule a follow-up meeting. What else? I saw or heard.
How many languages? You said 3?
Yes.
Which ones?
My native tongue is Tagalog, which is our native language in the Philippines. I learned Chinese when I was younger, although my accent is really horrible. And I will not get lost in a Spanish-speaking country, although you don't want to hear my grammar. I have everything named masculine in my head because I don't know how to conjugate any differently. But if you leave me in Costa Rica for 3 months, I think I will be fluent in Spanish.
Very
Oh, and I studied French. I was a linguistics major in college. What else? Hey, these are questions about me. We need questions about this topic. What else?
Have you seen people that learn to this Toastmasters that go off and write books? And I noticed that this is something that you start learning how to break down topics and learning how to break down your speaking, obviously. So obviously you can transition into writing books and all that.
Yes, I'm glad he asked this question. We have former Toastmasters who have moved on to become highly successful as professionals, whether as authors, speakers, businessmen, politicians, say that quietly, and many other success stories in life. You know Mrs. Fields? The cookies. You guys know this at the mall. When you go in, they're really yummy Mrs. Fields product of Toastmasters. Pretty cool, right? And in Toastmasters, should you decide that after your first couple of months, you're really hungry for this, and this is something that lights a fire in your belly, we can help you transition to become professional speakers. The Toastmaster, who is the co-founder of my home club, I can kid you not, every time he opens his mouth, it's a six-figure income for him. He keynotes all over the world, and he's been invited to all the shindigs in Hollywood and New York and Washington, D.C., and all these places. And he is a business coach / consultant, and this is what he does for a living. And I know some of you have it. I can tell just from speaking with a few of you. You may not do it in English. You could do it in your native tongue. Or here's something even better. What if you learn to create a product or service where you can actually showcase your skills and offer it virtually around the world? You don't have to be there in person, right? Right, Ray? So I see opportunities. I see Willie. Yes, sir. We'll tackle that. You have time after my time's up. Yes.
The program, what you were talking about speaking, you said obviously change your tonality, change your voice and all that. That's NLP, so it's neuro-linguistic programming. Do you guys see it as that, or does Toastmasters see it as something else?
NLP, for those who are not familiar with neuro-linguistic programming, is used in behavioral sciences. This is a way for you to actually be fully present in time, to be able to shift deliberately. In Toastmasters, we don't go that specific into it, but what you're actually alluding to, which is very similar to what we do in Toastmasters, is that we help our folks transition from one level of speaking to the next, and that's why I said it's very much building blocks. Not only is repetition critical and practice, but the skill sets that you will amass as you work through the advanced projects get very specific. For instance, handling conflict, or speeches facilitated by management, or giving bad news to the media. Yikes. And she's flashing my red light. One last question and I'll wrap up. And I'll stay afterwards. Downstairs we can chat. Yes, sir.
How long is it gonna take you to be like good, and how it's gonna take you to be like the guy used up 6 fingers every time he's good?
Very easy answer. As fast or as slow as you want it to be. Hear that? As fast or as slow as you want it to be. If you're working towards a goal you're really passionate about, don't you spend a lot of time and effort doing it? And if it's not all that important to you, you'll just say, I'll do it tomorrow. Your call. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been my pleasure. Let's bring back our CAL president, Andres.
All right, now, no more quick deal. I would like to bring Wilbur, and that's going to talk about exactly what we have to really cover the law. Okay, Wilbur? Thank you, Wilbur. Very good.
Hi.
Wilbur.
I am going to be the treasurer once the club officially opens. Right now, what we're doing is chartering membership applications. In order for this charter to be official, we need to have 25 members to sign up so that we can officially be chartered for District 47 and be a part of the Miami-Dade County. The name of the club is Young Professionals Entrepreneurs Toastmasters Club. And one of the things that we have here, and what this includes is the material for you to be a competent communicator, which goes through the different steps in order for you to become an advanced speaker. And the cost for new members is $111. It can be paid in cash, money order, or check. And the idea is that once we have the 25 members, we're officially going to be chartered, and we're going to be able to compete through the district and with other clubs. Because as of right now, we're being mentored by Chim, and the idea is for us to become an independent club. So what I would like.
Can you discuss how long that 100?
Okay, 111 is from the month of April all the way to September. Starting off in October, there's going to be.
That's a different factors.
Oh, okay. So the time is from April all the way to September. It covers 6 months. After that, in October, it's going to come at a new and higher rate because World Headquarters is increasing the rates of membership. So it's going to be a small increase. But as of right now, it's 111 for new members, and for people who have been a part of Toastmasters groups before, it's going to be $91. And like I said, this is going to bring all the material, and all the funding that's collected is going to be used so that you can go into the competition paying no fees, and making sure that the leadership training for all e-board is done so that we can get to our club so we can compete. So after I finish speaking, I have the applications. I'm going to start collecting the funds. And then the idea would be is that by next month, next meeting, that we finish collecting the funds so that we can officially be a club. Anybody has any questions?
Clarification. So basically, it's $111 for 6 months. We meet twice a month, the first and third Monday of every month. So basically, it comes out to about $8 a meeting. So you guys kind of have an idea. And there's, I say that because there's a lot of value to get, not only from the networking, like Sean mentioned, but being able to sharpen your skills in communication in whatever it is that you want to do. The other thing is that we actually are going to be limiting the membership to 50 members total. So I know there's a couple people that are not here that are already going to become charter members because they've been here in the past. So we're up to about 35 so far, not including any of the guests that are here today. So I just want to let you know if there's something you guys want to do, make sure to get with Wilbur. If you guys have any questions, see myself or Andres. We'll be more than happy to answer for you guys. Okay?
Yes. For those of you who are interested in being part of the charter membership group of Toastmasters, the next meeting, April 4th, please make sure you have your signed and paid application. That is your new member orientation, critical in your success in your Toastmasters journey. So Andres, when you send a reminder of the application forms, please tell those founding members they must be here for new member orientation.
Okay, fantastic. All right. And then the last thing, if anybody wants to do their icebreaker, wants to work on that for the next meeting, make sure you come speak to myself or Andres so we can mark you guys down to actually do this. It's the one that you're going to talk about yourself. All right?
Okay, the faster, the sooner that you get in practice is pretty much how we start developing your communication skills. So definitely, all right.
All right, so before we wrap up, we have to go downstairs. We only have this room till 8 o'clock. You can go downstairs and continue talking and answering questions. I want to get everybody to this side of the room so we can take a quick picture, group shot. Everyone just really quick.
That was what we were talking about? That was the thing? Yeah. All right. Someone just now.
Petite, not small, petite.
Squeeze in, let's go, everybody.
A little tighter. Come on, you're going to be friends for the next year. So on.
There we go. On 3. 1, 2.
Touch my butt.
Energy.
Thumbs up, everybody.
Thumbs up, thumbs up. One. Okay, hold it.
Such celebrities.
1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, this meeting is officially over. Right. So.